Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the North Shore 9 podcast presented by FanDuel. This is Bucko Brew, powered by DeFair Coffee and Tea. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo, and with me we have Jim Rosati. And Jim, as always, happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You're such a nice guy. Well,
I know. I keep telling you this, and you keep saying that I'm not.
I don't know.
When in reality,
understand.
Yeah.
You're just so nice and pleasant.
All the time.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. It is a good Monday. The Pirates took 2 out of 3 against Boston. Season's over. Basically. Like, my stance isn't changing much. There's still 6 games out of the wild card. But as we talked about, they need to do what they need to do here. And they took care of business against Boston. I mean, obviously they fell flat against Sonny Gray. Ironically enough, and this is kind of wild and crazy, I think. Going into this series, if I told you that they scored a plethora of runs versus the 2 lefties and got shut out by Sonny Gray, would you be shocked?
Not really.
Oh, I was. Yeah.
No, I mean, Sonny Gray is a really, really good pitcher. So if you would have told me, hey, Sonny Gray went out and shoved, I would completely understand that. And I mean, it's not like they were facing any good lefties. Now we've seen
them
struggle against pretty bad lefties, but no, I mean, if you would have told me that this would have happened, I wouldn't have been too surprised.
Well, I would have been. And I was. Both lefties. Again, neither lefties gave them problems. They came out scoring, hitting home runs. Either way, they take 2 out of 3 against Boston. This team is going to do anything. This team has to go on runs. This team has to essentially win every single series going forward. Like, that's without question. And I guess theoretically, if they go 1-2, then they have to sweep one. You know what I mean? Like, they have to go 2-3 the rest of the way. They have to win 66.67% of their games the rest of the way to have this fighting chance. So again, that's the mindset you're in. You have to take every single series, and they can check mark the very first one against Boston, and that's a tough one. Boston was now again they've floundered a little bit of late, but you want to talk about one of the hottest teams in baseball ever. That was the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, I mean, Boston isn't playing like they were, 2 weeks ago. So it was nice to run into them now. But yeah, it was a good series win. Like they needed to win a series. They won the series. They still have to make up for the Marlins series loss, right? So kind of how we talked about last week, where if they lose a series, like that means they kind of owe a sweep. Like they have to. They have to win 2 of 3, and so far they're not. They played 500 ball last week. Yeah, and it's not good enough, right? So 500 ball isn't gonna cut it.
Yep. So that's the part that sucks. So Mr. Nice Guy, thanks for ruining the party right now. Just trying to be nice and say 2 out of 3, but no, Jim had to put perspective in.
Something's either up with my AirPods or your mic. I'm going to go ahead and say it's my AirPods.
Well, I can't hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. All right. It was my AirPods.
You see, you're so nice. You didn't really pass the blame onto me. You owned that. See how you take ownership and responsibility for your failures?
It wasn't my failure. It was the AirPods failure.
Here we go. Now, Mr. Excuse Man. All right. But no, for real. The Pirates take 2 out of 3. Braxton Ashcraft, we obviously discussed him at length, the post-game show, even afterwards. Like, just what a performance by Braxton Ashcraft last week. I guess, yeah, he didn't pitch against Boston. I'm going back to Miami. Regardless, I want to talk about Braxton Ashcraft, apparently. No, we had some solid pitching performances this this weekend as well. The one that we didn't have, though, was from Paul Skenes. Paul Skenes was pushed from Sunday. He's going to be pitching on Wednesday. They claim it to not be injury related, Jim. So we're going to talk about him today at pretty good length. I think we can maybe save it for a little bit here later, but just real quick, like, does that worry you, or is this more like, you know what, this sounds about right? Maybe he needs some rest, and that's probably maybe something they should have done earlier. What's your take on hearing Skenes being pushed to Wednesday?
I'm not surprised. He really looked bad last week. So it's not a surprising move. What I'm really looking forward to seeing is if it matters. Like, does giving him these 3 extra days matter? Does he look different on Wednesday than he did on Tuesday? It's when he last pitched, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Sounds
one of those. Yeah,
right.
it was Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, he opened it, the series, yeah.
Yeah, so Tuesday. Does he look different than he did on Tuesday? If he does, then that's a good sign. Maybe it just meant he was just a little tired.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't, then this is just the pitcher who he's going to be the rest of the year, probably.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I guess we'll get to that. They had Balker start. I want to talk about him a little bit here too.
You know what?
Like,
There was some chatter in the Discord last night. Apparently, someone put up his arsenal and all that, and I think it was like that pitch profile account
okay.
where they talked about they kind of want to see Pittsburgh turn Lake Balker into a starting pitcher.
So they Mason Millard.
Yeah,
Lake
and
Balker.
and I don't know. I think I'm pretty happy with just kind of what Lake Balker is now, like a multi-inning reliever. I don't know if I love, like 3-inning outings every single time, but because they've been a little hit or miss here. But yeah, like someone who can do that 6th and 7th inning if you need him to, maybe a 5th or 6th inning if you need him to, in a game that you're not necessarily punting, right? Like if you're not losing the game 7-1 because your starter blew up, and you're just trying to get through the game, sure. But like Balker strikes me as a guy where, hey, these starting pitchers have struggled to go deep into games anyways. So if you need someone to pitch 2 innings and maintain a lead even earlier in a game, he's as a good guy to do that, like that, those middle innings. So yeah, I think the role that they've used him in so far is good. You get length out of him when you need him to, and if you need just 1 inning out of him, you can get that too. But I don't know about stretching Lake Balker out into a starter. He's 31 years old. He hasn't started since he was 24 in Double-A, I think. And it's not like he was like extremely effective back in the day there either. Now he's a different pitcher now than he was when he was 24, but I don't see a reason to.
And then I guess one of the things, like when the trade happened, we discussed that he's got a large pitch arsenal. Like there's part of that plays, and I guess I can understand the reasoning, but no. I mean, I jokingly talked about Johan going into the rotation not too long ago. The reason we're even having these discussions is because of Carmen Mlodzinski. Like, honestly, the reasons we're having this is because of Carmen. Because Carmen's back in the rotation and he has not pitched well. But these are the same conversations as Carmen Mlodzinski. Like, no. Like, stay in the bullpen. That's where you excel. And honestly, like, Balker doesn't truly excel in the bullpen role. Like, he's
fine.
He's fine.
Yeah.
Right? But like he's fine as a reliever. Nothing screams I'm fine as a reliever, so I'm going to excel as a starter now. If you're just fine as a reliever, you're probably not a starter. Like, at least Carmen can say, hey, I dominate as a reliever. I might be a starter. You can't say, hey, I'm fine as a reliever. I might be a starter. If you're fine going through the order one time, trust me, you're probably not going to be fine going through the second time. So, but with that being said, like, to the point here, I mean, that's why Balker has value, is because like, why does Carmen Madinsky have why does he have value as well? Is because like there is true value in that multi-relief bulk type of pitcher. So like, let him be that. Absolutely, let him be that. And he showed value because he had to go ahead and do a start. And I was kind of shocked he went as long as he did. But when you saw how he pitched, it wasn't shocking that he went that long. He was pitching fantastic against a really good lineup. And yeah, like, shout out to him. He had a really good performance there.
Yeah,
Just a nice guy to have in your bullpen.
Yeah, you needed that. I said the offense responded nicely yesterday after the shutout. They got an early lead, they added to it, and yeah, Bakker did a good job of giving them some length and shortening the game a little bit and putting up a few zeros. So yeah, good stuff. But I'm with you. Like, we're not talking about a guy with a sub 2 ERA in the bullpen, or a 2, like a low, like, we're talking about a guy with a high 3 ERA in the bullpen. Like,
right.
He's okay. He's fine. I don't see a need to stretch him out anymore.
Again, it was a guy who basically got his footing in the majors at age 30. He didn't do that because he was a really good starter. And at age 30, he had a ERA of 3.93, and right now he has an ERA of 3.80. His second year, as a reliever. Like, yeah, nothing's outside of the actual pitches that he has. Again, he has like a starter's arsenal, and that's probably why we're talking about this, right? And I get it and understand that, but right. At any rate, though, good stuff from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like, how about the lefty thing? Is the okay? It's going to sound a little facetious here when I say solved. It's not solved, but the lefty lineup issues, as Merlin's coming alive again. He's on a 6-game hit streak. He looks a lot comfortable at the plate again. Ronnie Simon's here. I'm not ready to anoint anything. Still batting over 300. It's better than Marcel. There's that. Triolo's actually been productive, since July, right? Since July 1st, his OPS is like a 7 something. Again, nothing to hammer home about, but like, he's a productive hitter, and obviously he does even better against lefties. And Oneil Cruz is kind of awaiting in the wings here, coming up soonish.
Maybe.
So 2 things here: Oneil Cruz and this lefty lineup.
I mean, the lefty thing is just a fluke. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's a fluke. They faced a rookie who had been having like a bit of success, but still a rookie nonetheless. And then they faced Patrick Sandoval, who's not the pitcher that he used to be. So, 2 games doesn't reverse a trend for me. I think a big piece of this is Brian Reynolds, because they went through that stretch after the All-Star break where Reynolds was just abysmal, and you can't have this lineup with the injuries that they have now. It's just not as deep as it was before. Like, before, I think you could have survived with like 2 guys slumping really bad, like 2 of your main guys. You can't do that anymore. Like, with O'Hearn out, with Griffin out, with Cruz out, you can't have 2 more guys slumping. So when Reynolds was slumping, when Valdez was slumping, it was a problem. And then against the lefty, like, Lau has been awful, right? So, like, if you're facing a lefty and there's Reynolds and there's Valdez and there's Lau for a stretch of time there, none of them were really hitting the ball. Reynolds is a key piece to that. You don't really expect much from Lau against the lefty. It's kind of if you get something from him, cool. Valdez is obviously picking things back up, but yeah, Reynolds needs to be better, and he had a better series this weekend. Had a big double yesterday, big hit yesterday, and then like the emergence of Flores, I guess, has been
That's my next one.
fine, but it's still too small of a sample size for it to mean anything for me. Like you look at the batted ball data, and it all looks good. So we'll see what's there. Listen, not much for me to take from his performance so far, but so far so good from Flores. But yeah, I'm not saying they've turned a corner or anything.
Okay, no, I mean absolutely fair, right? Absolutely fair. But to see Esmerlin turning the corner is huge. Again, if they are going to perform the rest of the year, it's a lot of pressure on a rookie, but like he has to, because again, when you're talking about lefties, this lineup is very thin in that sense. Like Esmerlin has to be a dude, and part of his calling card is his performance against lefties, right? I mean, he can mash lefties. He has to start doing that for this team to be competitive, and he has started doing that again. So there is that. Again, like Rafael Flores, this guy who can hit lefties as well. I know it's a little small sample, but we are discussing Andy Rodriguez is probably out for the year. Seems like it'd be a prolonged IL on a hip. I don't know how long that's going to be. It's nothing short. It doesn't sound like it's short. I'm going to assume right now. I think it's a lot easier and better to assume he's probably out closer to the end of the year than he is returning soon. With that said,
we're close to the end of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. With that said, 547 OPS versus lefties. Like he's part of the problem versus lefties. And I'm not saying Andy Rodriguez is part of a problem. He's part of a solution for this team. But specifically for his lefties, he's part of that problem. He can't hit lefties either. Rafael Flores is in this lineup and hitting lefties now again. He's not the best behind the plate, but hey, neither was Andy. But he's hitting lefties. Maybe they're finding some patchwork to at least try to get competitive, at least more competitive than they were before the trade deadline with what they have. So I don't know. Again, there is that aspect of it. Reynolds, of course, being a switch hitter, he needs to start hitting lefties. He needs to start hitting, period. He has one of the biggest drop-offs pre and post All-Star game in baseball. Like in the entire sport of baseball.
I think it's the second worst drop off in the league. Yeah,
I think Jordan Walker's maybe the first, which also is tremendous his drop off. But yeah, Ryan Reynolds is up there.
Yeah,
so like
it's like a negative 92 drop. It's like almost a full average player drop off.
Yeah. So, anyways, he needs to start performing. As Merlin's starting to perform again, if you have Rafael Flores, maybe. I don't know. There's maybe something versus lefties here they're improving upon. But again, I think the biggest thing would be a healthy Oneil Cruz. So to kind of transition over to Oneil Cruz. Before we do that, though, of course, let you know about the sponsor of our show, DeFair Coffee and Tea. DeFair is a family and employee and owned operated business. They believe that coffee and tea are one of life's simplest and most accessible pleasures, and when enjoyed thoughtfully, you can open your eyes to the here and now. They have 5 locations across the city of Pittsburgh, including their flagship in the heart of Pittsburgh's historic Strip District. Don't forget to stop by DeFair's new location downtown on Penn Avenue, right across from the Benedum. Grab a cup and fuel up on your walk to PNC Park. Mobile ordering is available. Check out their Instagram for more details. And Jim, as always, let them know how they saving 30%.
Yeah, so go to defair.coffee, DEFER.coffee. Load up your cart with whatever you want. Put in promo code NS930 and you'll save 30% off your first order.
Boom. There you go. Get that money, get that coffee. But yes, Oneil Cruz is in rehab.
He's not.
That's the second time I've said that before.
Yeah.
All right. Oneil Cruz.
I mean, Altoona. I mean, it's Altoona, but yeah.
Yeah.
He's on rehab.
There you go.
There
He
you go.
started in AAA in Indy, then they went away, reverted to Altoona to stay closer to Pittsburgh. Seems like he keeps traveling back and forth. They keep checking up on him. He finally played back-to-back games, but there still seems like a little bit of uncertainty. The thing that worries me, and I do say worry, I mean, it's been longer than I think you anticipated Oneil coming back. I mean, even Ben Cherington said he should be back by end of July. That certainly has not been the case. And you're still hearing that there's soreness, still feels some, soreness and stuff in that hand. And again, that hand, that's going to be a problem. I mean, that could take till next year for him to get fine again as far as the swing and power and whatnot. But yeah, hearing the soreness and stuff, I don't know how easy I feel about Oneil Cruz coming back and performing.
Yeah, it's concerning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I do know is on Wednesday, at least in his rehab start, the day that he DH'd in Altoona, he at least was hitting the ball really hard. He was smoking the ball. I'm not quite sure about like the last two starts, but he did get his like back-to-back games in the field in on Friday and Saturday, which typically is like the last step before you get activated. Um, but yeah, I mean, they keep kind of saying that he's dealing with some lingering issues, and when it comes to hand stuff, you don't really want to rush things with the hand because if your hand's hurting, it's hard to hit, and
Mm-hmm.
it just that's a difficult thing to do. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see. I mean, it seems like based off of how they're doing this, today's the day. But I don't know. I don't know. They haven't really given too many indications of it. I know that it was. I'm sure they weren't expecting him to be on rehab, for 2 weeks, like 2-3 weeks. Like that's a long time. He's already been 6 rehab games over the course of like a week and a half. So yeah, I don't know. I'll be curious to see there. I mean, they could certainly use Cruz, but they could use him if he's healthy. If he's not healthy and he's not at his best, then it may be best for the team to wait a little bit. Because I don't know if a 70% Cruz is what you need right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that goes in two ways here because, like you talk, is a 70% Cruz what this team needs now? And I guess, like, in theory, yes. Like, even a 70% Cruz, I think, helps improve this team. But because of the type of player Cruz is, a 70% Cruz just means he's going to be like a 30% Cruz. And I guess the reason I'm saying that
Yeah,
is
like what does that even mean really? 70% Cruz, right?
right. Like I'm 70% of the way there, but if that hand is struggling, and again, too, like you say, the 2 weeks, and I just want to put in perspective here. Like this is also a guy who's been out for 2 months. And again, we're talking about a person who the struggles that he has, like he has to get that timing back. He has to have I'm seeing pitches well again. I'm seeing pitching for the first time in how long. And I probably like Cruz is probably one of those guys that, it's like, yeah, give me a game or two and I'll be fine. I've been off for 2 months, but like whatever. If I give me a game or two and I'll be fine. That's unfortunately for Cruz, that's not him. And if he comes up at 70%, does that mean he's going 0 for 4 every night for a week until that timing comes back? That's why I say like the 70% probably means he's like, but he'll probably give like 30% of his production because he can't be a 70% type of player. He needs to be closer to 100%
Yeah.
because he's going to be streaky. I mean, regardless, he is a streaky player. And yeah, I just think that with this injury, and again, with him having just 6 games under his belt coming back, probably isn't enough in the length of time he's been out for. So I don't know, man. I don't know. If he comes up, I'm not hating it at this point in time, but also kind of think like maybe he should just get like a few more games down there. It's not like he's been tearing the cover off the ball down there either. Like, he's striking out there.
Well, I'll say this: like, he's not tearing the cover off the ball, but like the strikeout rate's still not. Like, it's still fine. He's at a 28% strikeout rate in his 6 games. It's less than Major League. That's less than what it was. That's higher than what it was like when he was actually in the minors. But it's not alarming by any means. But yeah, I mean, I guess you've got to evaluate and say, like, is he ready to go? If he's ready to go, then you got to activate him. But if he isn't, then I don't know, because you don't want like you said, you don't want to activate him and him come up and he still not be ready, and it takes him a week to get back into the swing of things, because they can't afford to have Oneil Cruz get activated and go on a 1 for 20 stretch with 12 strikeouts.
And like to this point here, like 70% Cruz sounds like a 46% Billy Cook, and like that can be accurate, but at the same point, Billy Cook has 4 plate appearances since the trade deadline. Like you're not playing Oneil Cruz 1 game every 2 weeks.
Right.
He's here every game.
I do think
can you afford 46% of Billy Cook every single game? No.
Yeah, I think if you do get Oneil Cruz back, you probably still ease him in a little bit. Like he's not.
Well, yeah,
he won't be in the lineup every day. Yeah.
The point I'm saying remains right. Like he's in air quotes an everyday player, not a guy who's playing once every 2 weeks.
Right.
And hoisting a cone the rest of the time.
Yeah, he's not there for vibes.
Right. And that's what I'm getting at. So I don't know. Like you said, like what is your description of ready? Just feeling good? Or like, you know what? I'm feeling comfortable at the plate ready.
I think he's got to feel good. Like the hand needs to not be hurting. Like if your hand is hurting, that's not a good sign still. Like it needs to be healed. I don't like the idea of rushing someone back before the injury is healed. So like he needs to be healed, and the timing needs to be back. That's the big piece. Like you can't be. And again, I haven't watched any of his rehab appearances. I'm just going off of numbers.
Same.
And like the numbers aren't pretty, but it's rehab. Like it's I don't really care about the numbers necessarily. It's more of a how's he look?
It's spring training. The numbers don't matter. Right. All right. Yeah. So I don't know when Cruz is coming back. It should be soon. It sounds like it probably will be soon. I don't know if it's going to be this upcoming series. Again, he did play back-to-back, but it is worrisome. It is worrisome that the pain is still there. And again, with that type of injury, like also you're saying too, it's like ready means not having pain. And this could also just be something where he's going to have soreness the whole rest of the year. It just could. Like, can he play through that soreness? The injury might be healed, and that's going to be on the medical staff. And here's me putting on my doctor's hat because clearly I'm a doctor. But like I could understand it. It could be a situation where it's like, okay, there's no worry about like the bone itself. Like it's actually healed. You're just going to have symptoms of soreness throughout the year with this type of injury. And it's like, can Oneil play through that?
Still it's got to have like kind of what Bucko Commish says here. Like it has to have no effect on him.
Right.
If it's affecting him in any way, then I think you got to wait.
So probably more management throughout the year also. Days off.
Yeah. I don't know. It's unfortunate because they could use somebody who can put the ball over the fence. They could use another one of those guys.
Yep. So there's that. There is that. Outside of those things, do we want to get into Paul Skenes now?
Yeah, let's dive in here.
There were some quotes that were said by him. First off, I guess the quote by him when Don Kelly announced that he is going to get pushed back. He was going to start Sunday. They discussed, they talked. They're going to push him back to Wednesday. And Paul just kind of said, I mean, it is what it is. Okay, that's fine.
Well, it is what it is was from his last start, where they asked him, just kind of what's going on, and he said it is what it is, and he just and Alex has brought this up on Offbeat a couple times. He's just not having a good time. Like, dude is just straight up not having a good time, right? He you never see him smile. You never see him just like look comfortable on the mound. Every time he pitches, he looks disgusted with himself. He seem every post game interview, he's sad and mopey. He's lost the swagger. Like the swagger that Paul Skenes had, right? Before, where like I still kind of go back to that that second game in Chicago where he was just like, good luck. Right? Like there was confidence. He knew he was better than the people that he was facing. And he was just like, I don't care. He's like, I'm better than you and I'm gonna perform. He has completely lost that. Like that psyche of his is gone. Right now, it's like he's trying to find answers. He doesn't know what's up. I know the defense hasn't been as good this year as it's been in years past, but like his stuff has also been significantly worse this year than it has in years past. Like there are a lot of factors as to why Skeens isn't performing. Some of it is out of his control, but a lot of it is in his control. And he's lost that killer instinct that he's had. The "it is what it is" quote, I hate that. I hate hearing that from
Sounds
him.
like a guy who's defeated.
Yeah, I hate it. And then to hear him say, you know, I'll accept whatever decision Don says. To be honest, I probably would do the same thing too. Like that, it sounds like a guy who just doesn't want the ball. Like, take the ball, Paul. Like last year, whenever they were doing his load management, like his innings restrictions the whole time, he was like, yeah, we're gonna get through this season, but he's like, but we are going to get through the season. He's like, we're not skipping a start. Like I am taking the ball every time through the rotation. However they want to handle it from there is whatever. But he's like, I'm getting the ball. Where's that Paul Skenes? Where's the Paul Skenes who wants the ball every fifth day? Because he just doesn't sound like that guy, and that's the alarming piece to me. It just seems like there is a skill side to this, but a lot of pitching is mental. Tyler and I think it was you and Tyler who talked about Jared Jones's start on Saturday, and it's like you've got to just a lot of it's just like you got to think you're better than the other guy. It's a one-on-one. It's like baseball's a team sport, but pitcher versus batter is one-on-one, and he's
To quote
losing
Tyler,
those
to quote
battles.
Paul, big on big.
Yeah, because like before that battle between Paul and the batter, like it was already won. Like Paul won it in advance just because he knew he was better than you, and so did the batter. Like the batter knew it too. And now that's lost. The batters are more confident. They're like, I can hit this guy. Everybody's hitting this guy. Paul is lost. He doesn't know what's going on. It's rough to see. He's just not the same guy.
Yeah. And like I guess what I want to say here too about those quotes is it's not like it's at least for me. I'm not looking at this and saying that's weak by Paul for saying that. I think that some of that is some self-awareness, but the problem is there's some self-awareness that he also recognizes that he isn't that guy anymore. That's what the problem is. It's not so much that he's not pleading and begging to give me that ball every 5 days. It's the fact that he understands I'm not the guy last year who was like, give me the ball every 5 days. Maybe the team is better if I take some time off because I don't have this already won going into it. I don't have that confidence anymore. I don't have that mentality anymore. And it's correct. Unfortunately. Now it is absolutely twofold, and I will remain on this stance all year long. I understand Paul is not the same pitcher, but it is also like not as this is also it's just funny, weird, and ironic. And I guess it's just because of Paul Skenes and what he has given so far. It's been godlike. It's been godlike. He's come into the scene and had an ERA under 2 back-to-back years. He comes on this scene and wins Rookie of the Year and Cy Young back-to-back. The dude's 23 years old. He's having a year where he's not that successful. But he's still, like, when you look at the numbers, like, he's still among one of the FIP leaders. Look at expected ERA. Like, you look at all the numbers and stuff, and it's like, he's not a bad pitcher. And then what's funny, too, is, and again, I'm trying to put some things in perspective here. Understand, Paul is not the same pitcher, and there's things that are worrying me, too, and we'll get to that part. But it's also just ironic that Paul Skenes has a 3.88 ERA. And he's now being fat shamed. He's now being talked about his mechanics, his arm angle, the drop off in velocity. Is he injured? Is this? I mean, everyone in the world is questioning Paul Skenes and what's wrong. And it's like he's the worst pitcher that existed. And then there's Braxton Ashcraft, who can't get enough praise. And what a beautiful pitcher. And this is the guy that Paul should be. And they both have a 3.88 ERA. They both have that exact ERA. And it's just so funny, the contrast of pitchers that these two pitchers are in the eyes of the jury.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it goes back to, expectations. Paul Skenes, like you mentioned, kind of set the bar really, really high for himself. Ashcraft is a guy that we were all really high on going into the year. I said he was going to get Cy Young votes going into the year.
Right.
And he might get there, honestly. I think it's just the way that they've looked, though. Like when Ashcraft is pitching, you can clearly see, like, this guy's attacking hitters. He's throwing strikes. He's loading up the zone. He's not wasting a lot of pitches. And you saw that, like, in that complete game he threw last week. That's something Paul Skenes, we haven't seen Paul Skenes put a performance like that together in months. The Colorado game was the last time you could say, all right, Paul, like, that was a dominant performance. Ashcraft has more of those type of outings where he'll give you 7 innings, 1 run, and he's just cruising. Skenes has just seemingly lost that ability to do that. There's a lot of waste pitches. There's a lot of balls. There's a lot of foul balls. The inability to put hitters away. It's a frustrating, like, it's just not as, Paul Skenes hasn't been as fun to watch this year as Braxton Ashcraft has. Like, I feel like every Paul Skenes starts, you're just kind of laboring through it.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, why can't he get this guy out? Why is another 11 at bat? Another 11 pitch at bat to Nico Horner. Like, Nico, I feel like every time you face Nico Horner, he's going to make Paul throw 15 pitches, right? Whereas with Ashcraft, he's throwing strikes. He's getting balls in play, and he's just getting outs. It's a smoother, more aesthetically pleasing type of performance that Ashcraft goes out and does. Now, Ashcraft gets blown up every once in a while. That's happened to him this year. But yeah, I feel like that's just the difference between the two is Ashcraft he just looks like, when he's on, he looks better. And Paul Skenes hasn't been on for us to kind of get that feeling lately. It's been a long time.
Yeah. So, are you worried about Skenes as far as, is he injured? Like, is there maybe more to this? Is there more to the loss of velocity? Because again, like, we understand that the loss of velocity was, as he comes out and says, something of design. Like, it's not a loss of velocity. It's more or less, here's what I'm going to be doing this year. It's not been that effective. And again, I want to stress, and I will ride on this point, he is not as bad as that ERA number looks. This defense is also atrocious. Okay. But it's not the same pitcher. The results have definitely been worse. But are you also now worried that he gets pulled with just a limited amount of pitches? That velocity had a major drop off his last start. And now he's being, pushed back. Again, the pushback could certainly just be like, listen, maybe that is part of just like dead arm. Maybe you're just tired. Maybe you're just worn down. Let's give you some rest, and maybe we see that spike back up. Him be a little better. Maybe he just needed some time off, or whatever. But there's a lot of warning signs here. I mean, is that true? Are there some red flags here as far as injury?
There are certainly red flags. Yeah, like the drop in velocity. You look at his, I think it's Travis Sawchik. I'll see if I can find it, but he went through and he charted the average fastball velocity from Paul Skenes in every start of his career, and it's just a straight up downward trend, start after start after start. So are there red flags? Yeah. Do I think there's an injury problem here? I don't think there is. Like I believe Paul Skenes when he says that the drop in velocity is deliberate. I think it's a stupid idea. Like it clearly hasn't worked. The fastball still, plays well, but the rest of his pitches don't, right? Like every other pitch is worse this year than it was previously. And I think a lot of that has to do with just it doesn't play as well as it played better off of 98, 99 than it plays off of 95, 96. So you're seeing that. But this is the chart that I was referring to. So you can see here, this is Paul Skenes' daily game log fastball velocity. And that's a trend, right? That's down and to the right. The average fastball is trending downward.
Sounds like the Zapruder film, down to the right.
Yeah. So like there is that, but I mean it's a trend that also started, last year. Like he wasn't throwing as hard last year as he was his rookie year either. So I don't think he was injured last year. I think that was by design. And this year he just took it like a step further. So no, I don't think he's injured. I don't know if he's tired or there's stamina issues. He did say a couple things in this this weekend where he said physically he doesn't think it's been any more or less challenging this year than the last couple of years. He did say that mentally the challenges have probably been different. But then Ben goes and says that, what was Ben's quote there that he...
Well, I have it up if you want it.
Yeah, what was that?
So he does say, I would say it would have been expected at some point that you're going to see some stretch where you're kind of grinding through it a little bit. And that is what he is. And with that said, he's still been one of the best starting pitchers in the National League. He's among the league leaders in strikeouts. His strikeout and walk rates are exactly where they've been in the past, and he's on pace for a 4 to 5 win season from a starting pitcher. This has been an excellent year for him.
Yeah, there's the money quote, right? This has been an excellent year for Paul Skenes.
Yeah.
And all those things are true. The strikeout numbers are there. His strikeout rate, he's striking out 30% of the batters. Like, if you're a starting pitcher and you're striking out 30% of the batters, like it's going to be you're going to have a good time typically. And Paul just, yeah, and he just isn't, right?
Paul Skenes.
Like you look at the overall numbers, and yeah, he's 5th in the National League in FIP, F4, he's 6th. So he's still like a top pitcher in the league. It's just before where he was head and shoulders the best pitcher in the league. He's just not that anymore. At least not this year. He's not. I mean, his ERA is 19th in the National League. So again, it's not like it's It's not like he's terrible. He's got the 19th best ERA in the National League. But
Qualified. Yeah.
yeah, but before that, it was just a lot better. And yeah, I think for me, it's just going back to I think this year is lost. Like I don't think you can flip the switch this year and say I'm just going to go back to being the same guy I was. Like I think that takes an off season to go and kind of reinvent yourself again. So like this is who he's going to be this year. This is who he's going to be. I really hope they revisit this over the off season and again, I don't think there needs to be too big of a change, but go back to the guy that you were before. Just a little bit. I don't think he doesn't have to throw 101, 100 all the time. Like he doesn't have to do that.
But also have it in your bag.
Yeah, be able to. Yeah, be able to do it. Yeah, it's just frustrating because I don't look forward to Paul Skenes starts anymore. Because they haven't been fun. Like they've been a grind. Not only have they've been a grind for him, but like they've been a grind for us to watch. They're sluggish. You get frustrated because he's missing arm side on half of his fastballs.
Yeah.
He just doesn't look dominant out there anymore.
And that's where I think, again, like the quote from Ben, it's been an excellent year. I don't know if I would say excellent. And again, that's me who's trying to put some perspective on this and say Paul truly isn't this bad as a pitcher. And the reason is for all those numbers you just rattle off and such, there's a lot of bad luck on his side also, but also some self-awareness. It hasn't been excellent. Paul Skenes isn't saying it is what it is because he's having an excellent year. There's just that. There's also just that. And I'm with you. That's why I think the next start is kind of big, because with this delay, with this extra time, what version of Paul Skenes do we see? And again, like I'm not expecting to see 2025 Paul Skenes. What I'm stating is the velocity at least back to like what it was before the last start. Like are we at least seeing 98, 99 or something and not 94, 95 or I don't know, but again, like if we're still seeing more to what we were seeing to start before, then like that's a problem. Because that was a big drop off this last start in the velocity. If you're getting a drop off like that, that's still a whole nother different Paul Skenes than the Paul Skenes we're talking about for this season. And that can't be good for his secondary stuff going forward. We can't have that Paul Skenes if you're going to have a shot. At least give me the Paul Skenes who had this 5 ERA since May something or whatever it was, because that guy at least had a lot of bad luck and he's not a 5 ERA type of pitcher. If you're seeing 94, 95 Paul Skenes, you might be seeing a 5 ERA type of pitcher.
Yeah, I want to see the guy from beginning of the year. I want to see April Paul Skenes.
Well, yeah. But that's also, I'm not expecting April Paul Skenes.
But like they need April Paul Skenes. Like that's who they need right now too. Like they need April Paul Skenes.
You need a guy who's going to go out there and win 2/3
every
of the
start.
starts.
He needs to win all of the starts.
Wow. Yeah. Not 25% of them though. Or
if
less,
that,
actually.
Yeah. He's not even doing that. 3-13 in his last 16 starts. Can't do that.
Right.
I mean, realistically, over 16 Paul Skenes starts, that record should be flipped. You should be 13-3. And if they would have won 10 more games over that stretch than what they did, they're a game behind the Cubs. They've got a 4-game lead for the second wild card.
Yeah.
If you just go 13-3 instead of 3-13, you're in at this point. Your playoff odds, those Fangraphs playoff odds that we talk about, where I think they're 3.6% right now, it's like 95%.
Yeah, well, Dennis Santana didn't blow up every save opportunity he had. Nick Gonzalez could field a grounder a third. These
If
injuries
Paul
didn't
could
come
get through
about
5 innings.
if
And
someone could hit a left-handed pitcher.
There's a lot of factors.
There is. But Paul is one of them. Paul is one of them.
Yep.
He is one of them. There's a lot. Paul is one of them. All right, man. Well, Pirates go on to face the Detroit Tigers, who've lost some games. They don't have Scooble anymore. There's that. They're technically in it probably as much as the Pirates are in it for the wild card as well.
Tigers are only a game out.
Mm-hmm.
One game out of the wild card.
Is it just one?
One.
I thought it was 4.
One.
I mean, that AL is trash, so I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all.
Yeah, they are 60-64 and one game out.
They are just one game out. There's Jesus. God, that AL is so bad. There's 6 teams all within 2.5 games outside of the wild card.
And they're all bad teams.
The Mariners are 59-66, and they're 2.5 out.
Yeah, it's rough. The Orioles are in right now at 61-63.
Yeah, they traded Adley, and they're in. They're like, let's just sell off and trade some pieces.
Yeah, the AL is they're hurting right now. I don't know who that final wild card team is going to be. It could be anybody. It's basically just like who wins the last series of the year. They're just kind of flip-flopping back and forth. But yeah, the Tigers are in it. And if you look at all the teams, like the Tigers are probably the best one. They run differential wise. They're, one of the better teams in the American League. They just have an awful bullpen. That's been their issue this year, kind of similar to the Pirates, where like high run differential, awful bullpen.
You know what? That's wild, though. No, really. They're the second highest team as far as run differential in the American League. It is the Yankees at +85, and then it's the Tigers at +83.
Yep. Yeah.
However, Houston's locked as the third team because they have the division at -30. What an awful league. We should just banish the AL.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, their bullpen actually hasn't been that bad now that I'm kind of looking at it. It's been fine. But yeah, it's been a weird year for the Tigers. They've got a good team, I think. But if you're the Pirates and you want to, so we talked about it, like they do not deserve to be talked about as a team in the hunt right now. They can play their way back into the hunt. They haven't yet. Like one series win doesn't put them back in the hunt. If you want to get back into the hunt, you've got to figure out a way to, I think you got to sweep this series.
Well, at the very least, and again, like at the very least, you got to take 2 out of 3. Right? Like every series going ahead, you're talking, you have to do at least 2 out of 3. You have to do 2 out of 3. And then here and there, find a way to sweep. But with this series, we got Carmen going, got Braxton going, you got Paul Skenes. So, hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad there as far as names go. I don't know about the Carmen start. He's not been good with a 13-something ERA and 5.1 innings and 2 starts.
They did officially, like, Carmen is starting tonight, huh?
He is.
Like, because yesterday it was still TBD.
No opener.
It was still TBD.
It's Carmen starting.
I don't understand why they won't just go back to an opener with Carmen. Every time they've tried it, it's worked. And ever since being moved back in the rotation here, Carmen has not been able to start. Now, I know the way that they mentioned last start, like I don't think they're using Carmen as like a regular starter either. Like the last time he went out, the goal was for him to go 3 or 4. So another reason to use an opener. If you're going 3 or 4, face the back end of the lineup twice, not the top of the order. So I don't
get it, man.
I don't know what
I have no problem with them putting Carmen back because who else is it going to be, right? Like it's simply just what's remaining. I don't have a problem with it, but set the guy up for success. Set your team up for success. Use the opener with him. I don't care what the problem is. I don't care what's being said or who, what, why, or when. It is out there. factually speaking, when Carmen has an opener, it's better. And again, the opener is designed for pitchers like Carmen exactly to a T. I don't understand why they're not using an opener again. But regardless, it's not as if the opener was going to solve his past 2 starts either. Let's put things in perspective. That wasn't going to solve. I mean, he was getting lit up the first time through the order as well. So, at any rate, I don't understand it. But yes, he is the starter today. They're going up against Framber Valdez. Now, ironic thing about that was a guy that a lot of Pirates fans were hoping to gain. There was a little bit of smoke there with him. Obviously, he went to the Tigers, not having the year you probably envisioned, 4.26 ERA. But then they face Kiter Montero and then Jackson Jobe, who's in a short stint in that magical draft class for Henry Davis. Great talent, in the short stint. Hasn't put up the numbers yet, but those are some guys you definitely got to.
Two more. No, Jobe's already. I said another lefty though in this series.
Yeah. So 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
And again, you got Ashcraft and Skenes going. We'll see what comes about with Skenes.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, none of these pitchers scare you. Montero's having a year, but kind of more of a deception and put the ball in play type of guy. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Valdez is an interesting one because he's been okay this year. He's been okay. He hasn't been like the pitcher that he was when he was in Houston, but again, like Pirates have had their struggles against lefties, so like they need to continue to go out there and hit lefties. And Valdez is a better lefty than either of the 2 that they faced this weekend.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we'll see what they can do. They've got to. They got to win. I'm not even agreeing with you. I don't think 2 of 3 is like you have to sweep this series. If you take 2 out of 3, it doesn't do you any good.
It does though, Jim.
Does you no good.
If they take 2 out of 3 this series and they sweep the next one, like what's the difference? Again, the thing is they have to be doing 2 out of 3.
You're gonna sweep the next one.
Well,
did you see what the next one is?
Yes, absolutely. The Dodgers suck. The Dodgers are horrible right now. They're absolutely getting swept by the Pirates.
Look at how it lines up that weekend too. Yamamoto, Skubal, Snell against the Dodgers.
Skubal's 0-3, I think. Well, he might not be 0-3, but every time he's left the game with the Dodgers, they've been down.
He's 0-2. Yeah.
There you go. I don't fear the Dodgers. The Dodgers are terrible. Absolutely. You know what? The Pirates could take one. This is the series they could lose, and they'll be fine because they got the Dodgers coming up next.
Sure.
But no, again, realistically, they can take this isn't they have the sweep or they're done. They have to be taking 2 out of 3 though every series. And again, you got to find some series that you do sweep, but it's not
I'm saying they are done.
Well, in order to play, they are done because they cannot take 2 out of 3 every series.
Yeah. They're
not done because they can't sweep the Tigers.
2 out of 3 doesn't cut it. If they win 2 out of 3 every series, the rest of the way, they're not a playoff team. They've got to do better than that.
My words. You got to take 2 out of 3 and find some ways to sweep here and there. But if they don't sweep this series, doesn't take them out of this technically speaking
the thing they're already out of.
Again, they're not going to the playoffs because this team can't simply take 2 out of 3 in every series going forward. That's the problem. Not because for the next 3 days they're not going to win all 3 games.
All right.
We're fighting about why this team is not going to make the playoffs. When you look at this team and say, this team is not making the playoffs.
I'll say
yeah, but my way of not making the playoffs is better than your way.
If they sweep, they at least get they're a little bit closer to the conversation. If they
take 2 out of 3, they're a little bit closer also.
Yeah, no, not really.
Well, yeah, I mean, they are.
You take 2 out of 3 and you're closer. 3 games under 500.
It's still a long stretch. There's still, what, 34 games left?
3 games under 500.
I know.
And then you go on a 9-game road trip.
But if they won the next 12 of 16 games, 16 games from now, you're saying, I mean, they're doing what they need to do to get there. It's not do or die of this Tiger series. But it's basically die regardless, because they're not going to do 12 of 16.
Sure.
And then 16 of 22, or, like, they're not just going to be rattling off all these. Anyways, are we done arguing about this terrible team?
And you guys need to keep believing.
Gotta believe.
You gotta believe. This team's going to do the unthinkable and they're going to win 16 of 20, aren't they?
No, they're not.
Okay.
I don't think they are.
Come back after they sweep the Tigers for NS9 Live.
Yeah.
When we talk about this team's back. All right. Speaking of back, we'll be back. I think I had the post game tonight. Yeah. Neil and I.
Yep.
Pirates play tonight. Again, Carmen Majinski, Framber Valdez.
I'm excited for this week. Greensboro is coming to Bowling Green this week. So I'll be getting to catch some of
pitchers.
Yeah, get to catch a couple Greensboro games. I've seen Florentino in like spring training and like the backfields, but I haven't seen him in like a full season game. So being able to see Florentino, some new pitchers coming to Greensboro, Levi Sterling promoted, Reynolds Navarro promoted. So yeah, should be I'm looking forward to seeing the Greensboro Grasshoppers, see how many runs they can put up. They're basically scoring like 12 runs a game at this point.
It is wild.
Is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's definitely some fun offensive talent, but also like now some good pitching. Navarro's been a beast.
Yeah, I want to see those two guys. I haven't seen Sterling in person in a while. I don't know if I've ever watched Navarro pitch. So yeah, I want to try to at least make it to those 2 games for sure.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. But outside of that, 6 games this week. Again, we talked about the Tigers and the Dodgers. We'll have NS9 Live. And then hopefully a working Sicko sound off on Sunday. I've been working on that, guys. So I think the fix is in play, but a little more testing involved. But again, the idea is Sunday after the post-game show, having a Sicko sound off. You guys can join through the app. You can vent, talk your ish, whatever you want to talk about. I'm sure there'll be plenty of venting opportunities come Sunday. So we'll have that. But with that being said, anything else that we need to discuss?
I don't think so. Couple national TV games this week too. I think the Pirates are on. I think the Pirates are on national TV tonight. They're on ESPN. Saturday they're back on Fox. Against the Dodgers. So yeah, and Friday night, late night, 10 o'clock. So 1 a.m. post game show coming at you.
Yeah, Pirates are a hot ticket. National TV can't get enough of them.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. They had to carry this Carmen Majinski start. They were like, Carmen Majinski starting, ESPN.
Got it. His agent put in some good work.
Yep.
All right. Let's get out of here. Well, guys, we'll see you guys tonight. Of course, Neil and I for the post-game show. With that said, as always, we love you all. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.